Hello there, my name is Gemma, and this is my dog Braylee, and welcome to Exploring Nature with Braylee. In this channel, I would like to share with everyone the joy of nature and offer little tidbits of information about things that you might not see just by scanning the surface, but by taking a little bit of a closer look. I must also say that I am by no means an expert with any type of degrees or qualifications to speak on these things. I'm just a kid with a passion, so make sure that if you see any information on here that you double check your sources and make sure you get accurate information and don't use me as a primary source. And if there is anything I do get wrong, or if there's any other information you'd like to share, then please let everyone know in the comments so that we could all learn from each other. Thank you, and enjoy my video. Hello there. It's a beautiful day in January here. We're over on the frozen ice. There's still snow around, but it's above freezing today, so not everything is frozen. And today we're exploring the frozen swamp and everything that we'll find here today. So come along and join me. Hello there. Lovely, and continuing on our lovely winter walk, we find these mushrooms growing on this log, and the weather's just above freezing and all the snow starting to melt, so they're nice and flexible. It may not be very visible right now because these are kind of dirty and there might be some moss growing on them, but there's little rings around it that are, different colors. They're called concentric rings that go all the way around and circle around the center of the mushroom. And when you first look at it, you might think it looks like a mushroom called turkey tail, because turkey tail shares all those characteristics. But if you look on the underside, there's no pores at all. It's just a flat surface. In which case, this is probably what they call a false turkey tail. There are different species of it, but I couldn't tell you exactly which one this is. But it belongs to the genus Sterium, which is what the false turkey tails belong to. And when it comes to confusing mushrooms with other mushrooms, one might think that it's a dangerous thing because you can find a poisonous mushroom when you're actually looking for the medicinal mushroom of turkey tail. But for this, false turkey tail is completely harmless. The only thing that will come out of it is that you won't get the same medicinal benefits that turkey tail gives you. So when you make a mistake and misidentify the mushroom, it's not that big a deal with this. Just look for those pores on the bottom. Hello there, this is Gemma out here in the swamp taking a look at some winter mushrooms. Of course, there aren't many, and the ones that you can see are probably buried in the snow, but you can see underground under this log. There's a nice little family of these fan-shaped mushrooms here. There's little hairs on the surface. I don't know how well you can see them, but yeah, and they're growing straight out of the log without a stem. And underneath, can you see there's gills that run quite deeply into it, all the way down to the origin point. See? Can you tell, Braylee? So these are probably some type of oyster mushroom. I cannot tell you what species it is, but yeah, these things, they probably grew sometime around December, when earlier this year it was still like in the 40s and stuff. It hadn't gotten freezing yet. And they just stayed here all this time, and now they're frozen. But yeah, normally they would be edible, except for the fact that these ones look very old and they're all gross and stuff. So yeah, there's one of these winter mushrooms that you can find on a January day. Alright, watch out, deer crossing. I don't really know much about them, but it's just a cool sight to see. Chasing, baby. Hello there. You might not have thought that I would be talking about insects during the winter, but up here we got some insect life, sort of. It's an old wasp nest. Now don't be too concerned about me standing so close to a wasp nest, because there's nothing in there. All the wasps are gone, and the queen's gonna make a whole new colony next spring. So right now I could even throw a rock at that and nothing would happen. But if you look in there, can you see like the little hexagons in there? How well can you see it? Not that well? Oh well, there's hexagons in there. And that's actually where a wasp, well, the queen wasp is the only one that lays eggs. And she'll put her eggs in those hexagons, and they'll hatch, and they'll be larvae, and they'll just live in that little pocket their whole life. And normally, when you think of babies, you think like, oh, this thing I gotta feed, it's not gonna contribute to my life until later. But for now, I just gotta take care of it until it can help me. But actually, the larvae are an extremely necessary part of a wasp nest, because when you have those wasps flying all over your food, taking a piece of your sandwich, they're not going to be able to eat that. The adult wasps cannot digest solid food, so they give it to the babies, and that's their source of food. And then, like babies do, they vomit a little bit of it up, and it's in liquid form, and that's what the wasps can eat. So they get their entire source of nutrition from their babies. So yeah, that's just a lovely wasp nest over there. A little bit about how they live. All right. So going all along this tree, all I got them. Some nice, lovely turkey tail mushrooms. Now you can see, maybe one of these down here. You can see that it's sort of in this semicircular shape. They're not all the same shape, but you know. And then what it should have is it grows out of wood. It has little rings. They call it Trametes versicolor because it has these concentric rings of different colors with a white edge. It could be brown, gray, black, all those different types of colors. And I don't know how well you can see, there should be some little fine hairs on the bottom. On the top of the mushroom's cap. And then when you look at the bottom, you can see that there's small pores. They should be white pores, and they should be very small, that you have to look really close to see them. Because I already talked about the false turkey tail, but there's also plenty of other lookalikes that look similar to this, but it doesn't have all these characteristics, and it's not quite a turkey tail. And these are very significant mushrooms because a lot of people use them as medicinal properties. There's a lot of research on them that they help you boost your immune system by strengthening your white blood cells. So this is a very nice thing. You can make tea out of it that a lot of people use. And yeah, it's very abundant. It grows everywhere almost year round, as you can see, because it's winter and they're growing. And they make a lovely habitat for other animals as well, as a food source for them. Alright, here we go. This lovely mushroom poking out of the tree. Some people like to have edible mushrooms, but if you try to take a bite out of this, you'll probably break your teeth off. But that's alright. It's good for other reasons. This is called an artist conk. And the reason why they call it that, well, this is a polypore. If you look down on the under level, it's got all these tiny little pores that are white. These ones have turned brown a little bit. But when you bruise it, when you damage the tissue a little bit, it leaves a coloring on there. See? And what a lot of people like to do is take these mushrooms and draw a picture onto it and keep it as a decoration. So that's what these mushrooms are good for. But it's not good to take a lot of them, because typically when you think of picking mushrooms, it doesn't actually harm the mushroom. It's like taking an apple off of a tree, where the apple is going to fall off anyways, and it's naturally going to come off. But these guys, they don't fall off naturally. They actually grow more layers on top of each other year after year. So it's good to leave them be. See, there's some small ones growing here. Eventually this one will be as big as this one. So yeah, and if you cut it open, you probably be able to see all the rings and tell how old this mushroom is. But I'm not going to do that today. So yeah, it's a lovely artist conk. Okay, see ya. Bye.
Woohoo!